I'm not on Twitter
By the
right
way,
now.
we're starting our podcast right now. You ready to go?
No. Your Evernote's
Bring
not
Evernote
loading.
up. Oh, tell me when you got Evernote.
I got the Hangouts invite before I got Evernote, so I've been waiting to put everything on. I'm gonna need 2 minutes to load everything on the Evernote.
Oh, do you want to do that? Why don't you do that? That's cool. We can just sit and chew the fat. Hey, on I didn't put my take in, and you know what I'd like to do for my take, if you don't mind, is I'd like to show the world how we um, how we actually come up with ideas. Which is, I'm going to throw something out, and then you're going to tell me why I'm wrong, and then I'm going to throw another thing out, and then you're going to throw something out, and we're eventually going to come to a an agreement about what we think of this Sterling thing. How about that? Is that cool?
That's gonna be your take?
That's gonna be my take. I'm just gonna start out, and you just like we did with that other thing we discussed this morning. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just you kind of know where I'm going with my take, but you've had a little time to think about it. Let's just gameplay it and see if we can come up with something that makes sense. Is that cool?
Yeah. If that's what you
Yeah,
want to do, then let's do it.
that's what I want to do. I want to show them how the sausage is made, man, because it's beautiful.
Mm. Mm.
uh
Mm. Okay, let me just load up my take
We're
here.
waiting for Cobb to load up Evernote here, all you viewers. And I should, let's see here. We have no viewers. How about that? We should just tweet that out, you think?
We have no viewers.
We
We
have
have a
no
special guest
viewers.
scheduled for in about 40 minutes.
Oh, he didn't want to come on earlier? He'd be great in our take. Or in
I
my take,
mean,
anyway.
if you want to reach out, reach out. Oh, barking dogs. Let me close the door.
Alright.
Do I have time to get a glass of water? Do I have time to get a glass of water?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. That's cool. I'm
Alright,
just going to tweet out that we're
I
on.
got
And
Evernote all done. It's done and loaded.
I'm just going to get our live events. Wow. Got caught stealing! No?
What? Huh? I can't hear you. I got barking dogs here.
That's what I was saying. I got caught stealing when I was 5. It's just a
Shut
simple
up!
fact.
All I gotta do is just bring them inside and they'll shut up.
When my dogs see something and they just want to react.
Oh my god, Twitter's still asking me to update the stupid new profile. I'll be right back.
Dude, bring him inside the door.
Huh?
No.
What? I still can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. How come?
I don't,
We
because I
can...
have barking dogs. What?
Oh,
What?
I got you.
Huh?
Just... Gee,
What?
terrible, man.
Come on. Really? Let's go. Inside. Winston, inside. Good. Oh, shut up.
It's my go-to meeting ID here, 609-514-029. 609-514-029.
What? Is it the intro from last week? Is this the welcome from last week?
That's horrible. Oh my goodness.
Are we still recording?
No, it's really. I'm recording. We're on live. It's not right. Just a minute here. Let's start it. I'm gonna.
I can fix it. I can fix it.
Wait, let me fix it because that way I won't have a problem here. Just a second.
I had a really good idea about. Do you want me to tell you? Are we recording or are we live?
We're still live. It's okay.
Just do a May the 4th be with you. Call me like J Cobb 2 Cobb or something like that, or Cobb 2 J2, or Finch Fry Phil called me Jar Jar Cobb, or JJ Binks, something like that. We'll just play on that, and hopefully it's the last, first and last bid on May the 4th be with you.
All right, I got it.
Got it.
Just a sec. Sync. Tell me what you think there, man.
It's not reloaded. Let me back up and back in.
Yeah, sorry, man. You should get the app. The app's pretty good. The app syncs up pretty quick.
Yeah, it's just too hard to look at my phone. It's easier on the laptop.
I know. You can get an app for your Mac. Hey, 2 viewers, how you doing? Tweet us, tell us who you are. We're just about to get ready here. We're trying to figure out our little intro.
All right.
You like it or not?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is everything else correct? Like the GoToMeeting ID and.
Got the GoToMeeting ID correct. Sound is looking good. Sil Jones is on. Let's see here. Sil can hear me, but we can't hear him. So we're gonna do our intro, then we're gonna go right to you, okay, buddy? Or after Winners of the Week, okay, Cobb?
After winners go to Sil?
Yeah, because I'm gonna use him in my take. Is that cool?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So Sil, you're after Winners of the Week. We're gonna get started right now. Hey, Sith Lord, do you know what time it is?
I don't even know how time works in Star Wars. Did Obi-Wan even have a watch?
No idea either about this whole Star Wars Day thing. Eek!
Geek.
It's tea time. It's TMV time.
By the way, notice it's Star Wars time. It's not Star Wars time.
Depending if you're listening or watching, we don't mind. It's tea time. It's TMV time. As long as you're listening or watching, we don't mind. As long as you're listening or watching, we don't mind.
Welcome to the Tweeting Warrior videocast with Brad Hutchings and J Cobb. We're videocasting live on YouTube today from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have a great time today. If you're watching this, please share a link with your friends. How you doing, Cobb?
Great to be live on YouTube with the TMV, Brad. Hey, everyone out there in Warriorland. Welcome to the Tweeting Warrior videocast, home of the premier source of sports fan fiction.
Here's how to interact with us live. Sil Jones figured it out. You can figure it out. Tweet our show, hashtag TheTMV. GoToMeeting ID is 609-514-029.
So, hashtag your tweets, TheTMV. The GoToMeeting ID is 609 514-029. We'll take calls as we work through our segments during the show. Get on and have something to say.
What's on our plate today, Cobb? Our Star Wars theme plate, along with our Star Wars lunchbox. What's in our Star Wars lunchbox today, Cobb?
Winners of the week, your take, my take, Manuel and Gardena, and what's up with the Moyer draft.
Cool. Maybe we can hear from the listeners.
Yeah, dial it up, Betchet Man. Sil Jones, French Fry Phil, No ID Justin. Just a couple of shout-outs there.
Winners of the week.
Monday, DJ Carlisle maximized his chances with some early pre-show Sterling tweets. That landed him his 14th win. Cheater. On Tuesday, I got the 411 on Twitter Hattrick Club Power Couple, Justin and Robin Orr. That, I need to give No ID Justin full credit for his wins from now on. It was his 5th, in fact. Still, Robin is a good follow. Justin, you are a hat-trick winner. Wednesday, geez, Boom Boom Dynamite won again. That's 7-up for Adrian. The Ultimate Moyer won his 2nd Twitter hat trick in 2 weeks. Talking about the Chalks. Follow him on Twitter at I'm Fat Shady. That's with a PH and not Slim. Shady, you are a hat trick winner. Friday's winner comes with some controversy, but it's certainly not undeserving, as the tweeting public came to find out that intern Robert Tincher was fielding tweets all week in Maddie's absence. Boom Boom Dynamite won his 8th Twitter Hat-Trick Championship with one singular, stellar Nikki Cox tweet. Brad, what's up with Maddie?
Well, I've heard through the grapevine that he is working Andy North and Mike Furman show. Or did I get that wrong? Mike North and Andy Furman show.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Southie and... We don't have a name for Furman, do we?
Furman?
Just Southie and Cotton Man. Okay, that's our name for him.
Cashmere Man?
Cashmere Man. Southie and Cashmere Man. He's working their show. And they actually acknowledged him on the air, their new producer, Maddie. So hopefully that's going well for Maddie. That's great.
I don't believe he's said a word since he's been there.
I think it's like the perfect job for him. He just wants to be felt, not heard. Going along with our whole Star Wars. Felt, yeah. That's it. Okay, wait a minute. He's Andy Feltman. That's it.
Did you like my O face while I was trying to wink into the camera there?
It is beautiful. Let's finish this up and get to Sil.
You're the boss.
Yes.
Brad's take.
Okay, before we start our take, I want to introduce special guest via GoToMeeting. Via GoToMeeting ID 609-514-029. Sil Jones, what's up, buddy?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Right. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
What's going on?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Not much. Just got back from Jay Moore's stand-up last night. It was totally awesome.
Okay, that's great. So, we're going to get to that later, but first, I want to do my take. And my take is very serious this week. It's serious like it was last week, for the 5 people who heard it, and it's about Donald Sterling. And the first point of my take is, actually, before I get to the first point of my take, I had to introduce Sil, and then I wanted to give everybody a look at how Cobb and I make the sausage here. And what I'm going to do with this take is I'm going to kind of outline it, and then Cobb's going to tell me all the ways I'm wrong, and then I'm going to try to say it again, and Sil's going to jump in and tell me all the ways I'm wrong, and eventually I'll get to something that actually makes some sense. So I'm gonna start here, and then you guys can jump in and tell me where I'm wrong, and then I'll just try again. But that's how Cobb and I come up with all our stupid ideas. They go through about 6 iterations of this before they hit full stupidity. So the first point is and this is Donald Sterling and the whole Clippers mess and everything else. We can't get full on this one. JJ's fond of saying that he knows when he can tell, or he can tell when we're getting full of a story. We cannot get full of this because it's disgusting. I mean, that's the only way to put it. It's disgusting. However those tapes were recorded, whatever their deal was, whether they were supposed to be released, whether she was archiving things, whether she was playing it back for his memory or whatever else, how TMZ got it, who cares? What we saw was, well, what we heard was disgusting, it was honest, it was deep, and it was troubling. And it has big ramifications in sports, and big ramifications just for how we all treat each other. And we can't get full of this. If we get full, what's going to happen is he's basically going to get a pass. Now, let me tell you how that works. First of all, they threatened to walk off the court and not play for him and all that. But, the NBA came through and, Silver, dropped the hammer, with a lifetime ban and everything else. And the Clippers stayed on the court and played. And, what we're going to run into here is basically momentum. And the momentum is that, well, he owns the Clippers, he can't do anything with them, but everybody's going to tolerate it. And in the end, he's still going to own the Clippers. So, my first thing is last night I was actually rooting for Golden State, not because I care for Golden State. NorCal's a disaster. I'm not a fan. I grew up there. Great place to be from. But I really want to see. I want to see what happens when the Clippers season ends. I want to see if Doc Rivers walks, if he walks on principle. I want to see if Chris Paul says, well, you know what, whatever years are left on my contract, I'm going to go to Italy until you release me from my contract. And then I want to see whether, Sterling obviously isn't running the organization, but I want to see what the response of the organization is. Is the response of the organization, okay, we're going to release Chris Paul from his contract? Or, no, we really have to hold him to it because contracts are more important than anything else here, which would be a BS move. Anyway, Cobb, I wonder what you think about that. So let's start with that.
Well, the banishment of Sterling by Commissioner Silver frees up anybody to having to make any of those tough decisions. Chris Paul, not only is he, captain, point guard of the Los Angeles Clippers, he's a president of the NBA Players Association, the active president. Like there's like a president who's a head, and there's an active president, like much like Derek Fisher was for a while.
Right.
So he's kind of like really stuck between a rock and a hard place here. But now he's free to play basketball. He actually doesn't have to make a choice on anything because of the banishment. Doc Rivers doesn't have to make a choice on anything. He doesn't have to stand on any grounds whatsoever.
So what you're saying then is that they basically, because Sterling's been banished,
right?
They basically get a pass and don't have to stand for anything. They can let somebody else stand for stuff. That's
Absolutely.
What you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yet meanwhile, while this team is not sold, while it's still owned by the Sterlings, and his wife is she's no Prince
Angel.
Charming either.
No.
I mean, or Princess Charming or whatever, okay? She's not that either. I mean, she is a really rotten person. I mean, they show pictures of her posing as a health inspector so that she can get inside
tenants.
Tenants' apartments.
Illegally.
Illegally, of course,
Yeah.
to find some BS reason to evict them. I mean,
Yes.
she's a real charming person here.
Well,
I mean,
you gotta
disgusting
also bring up
person.
the fact that she has a major role in this Viv Stiviano tapes scandal as well. It was her attempt to recoup $1.8, nearly $2 million from Sterling's girlfriend. In this attempt to get a couple $1 million from a girlfriend of Sterling's, the girlfriend's like, you're trying to get this money. I'm going to blackmail you. I'm going to take your husband down, and you're going to go down with it. And then she's at the Clipper game last night in the suite, like, look at me, I'm the queen of the Clippers. I'm here in replace, ding dong, the witch is dead, Sterling's gone, and I'm here to be your hero, and
yeah. And it turns out as disgusting as he is, she's not far behind. And this is the momentum we have. Is that, well, he's been banned, so now everything can go on as normal, and nobody has to say no one has to say anything or do anything. In fact, he can sue the league. The league can just say, well, and he will. The league can just say, well, he's suing us. We'll just let this drag on. We don't have to really step on any toes. We don't have to cancel player contracts. We don't have to. We don't have to really punish him anyway because we've already dropped the harshest punishment on him. And as it turns out, what his life expectancy is and everything else, he probably ends up selling the Clippers at an estate sale, which is terrible. Yeah. Absolutely terrible. What do you think about the cancer thing? What do you think about his cancer play? How about that?
Yeah, we need to find out if he really has cancer.
Dude, basically every male over the age of 75 has prostate cancer. Assume that, because that's what happens.
Okay.
Right. Most men who die over 80 die with prostate cancer. Okay?
Well, he's so full of magic deuces, of course he has prostate cancer.
Hey, that's not nice. My dad had prostate cancer and had to have his prostate out.
Yeah, but I don't think
I'm looking at in 20 years here.
Your dad wasn't as full of deuces as full of deuces as Donald Sterling is.
Right. And 20 years younger too, but
no kidding. But
yeah,
well, he also has a history of angling a story to his way. Well, did you see the article in the New York Times? It wasn't an article in the New York Times. It was an advertisement. He paid for an advertisement himself, announcing that he was going to get a plaque on campus at UCLA for donating money to kidney research.
It was the whole kidney research building, and it was $2.5 million, and
which they gave back.
Well, UCLA did the honorable thing there. Despite the fact that it's $2.5 million for something really good and something, they said if your name's associated with it, we're giving it back. Now that has actually caused a whole bunch of ripples in I don't know, what would you call them, the kidney community. But no, I mean, I know people who are kind of active with kidney issues, especially on donation and even the ability to to sell kidneys, because that would actually satisfy the demand that we have rather than people on waiting lists. That aside, that's weird stuff. See Facebook, Brad, for that stuff. However, they're kind of hurt that this couldn't be resolved with him giving the money and maybe not being able to take credit for it. But of course it couldn't, because that's what he does. This is how he justifies being a jerk. Is he'll be a jerk and then he gives money to the NAACP or he gives money to UCLA, sort of to buy it's a creepy way of buying an indulgence, is what it is. It's just absolutely sick and creepy.
It's he thinks he's getting karma points for it or something.
So what do you think about this, buddy?
I don't know, being black, it kind of hit me off.
Dude, whoa. Whoa, stop.
Syl Jones is black?
Syl Jones is, no.
I know I feel a lot of people, but I really am.
No! Hey, Syl, would you mind being my black friend?
I will. Oh, I love you guys.
You are so awesome, man. God. I'm just, oh God, I'm blown away.
Go ahead. So please continue.
I think what bothered me the most about the whole scandal of Donald Sterling was the fact that it kind of seemed like his whole premise on being racist was based on his upbringing and his friends and associates that he hangs around with and what they see and perceive. And it kind of seems like everybody just let all those other people off the hook, even though they're hidden. I think the real issue of the racism still lingers on. It's just they just took out the person who was most vocal about the whole thing. And
well, yeah, that certainly doesn't exist that certainly doesn't exist in a vacuum. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing
it kind of makes things kind of uncomfortable in a kind of sense, because it's out there, and there's still a lot of people that still think like that because he brought them up. And it seems like he's not one of the hateful people. He's more of one of the people that just goes along with the program. Like, if a bunch of people are racist, I'm just going to still fit in, so I'm just going to just follow their beliefs because I don't want to mess up my cash flow or how I roll with people. So I think the NBA did the right thing, although it is kind of a slap in the face knowing they knew about his tendencies a long time ago and they didn't do anything. And it seems like this is more of a money thing when the endorsements roll out and they all of a sudden want to make a switch.
My view on that about sort of not realizing it a long time ago is I certainly think that people my age and younger, and I don't think it quite goes up to my parents, but maybe 10 years more. I'm 43, okay? I think for the most part our assumption is that people that are just that crass, idiotic, and just disgustingly racist they're a caricature and they don't exist. And do you really know anybody like that, That's my assumption. And so to hear Donald Sterling say those things to me it's shocking. I mean, it's like, whoa, where did that come from? That is not possible. There's no way.
Question mark?
There's no way.
There's no way.
And I think that's what's just so unfortunate about it, and that's what that's why I don't think we can get full of this. I mean, because there it is. It's right there in front of us. It's like this idiot is ranting about this. He actually believes these things. He sounds very sincere. His thinking on this is very deep, and it's refined, and it's raw, and it's disgusting, And it's like, is that, of course you hear the people call the talk shows and whatever else, and it's like, well, I mean, he's old, and giving him a pass, and he's set in his ways, and you can't give that a pass. And then there's people calling the talk shows, that just have their own racist take on it, and you're like, boy, I know you're in flyover country, but still, I mean, the new millennium must have hit you at some point. I can't believe this. I mean, it's shocking to me.
What shocks me more than the ignorance and the prejudice is also his basically his hypocrisy. He grew up as somebody in a very poor neighborhood to poor Jewish parents. He wasn't born a Sterling. He was born a Takowitz?
Takowitz.
And he used this term smelly. Is he a smelly black person? Is she a smelly black person? Or
like I said, it was deep and disgusting. I mean, and well thought.
It's like it wasn't too long ago that people referred to Jewish people being smelly and rotten, and that was a reason to think of to categorize Jews as like bad people because they had a certain smell. And now here he is. He's someone that was of Jewish descent talking about another race of people being quote unquote smelly, or they smell, or having a bad smell. I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have the quotes in front of me. But it's just like this. He just has this lack of self-awareness, and he's completely out of touch with reality and where he came from and where his family's from.
Yeah.
And that's what really hits me the hardest. And not to mention, you're talking about those people, the flyover states, they're putting Donald Sterling in like KKK robes and hoods and stuff. I'm like, dude, the KKK wouldn't even accept this guy. This guy, he doesn't even have a home with like other racists.
He's just, he's a jerk first and foremost. But it's, I don't know. Okay, Sil, tell me what we're focusing on wrong here. Tell me where we got this wrong, and we're just piling on the guy.
I don't think you got anything wrong. I mean, I think it's just so blown out and just off the wall.
So you're in your early 30s, right?
Yes, 34.
34. How weird is this to you? I mean, like, I described how weird I thought this was, because to me it was just weird. It was just like, you're kidding me. Somebody like this exists? Please. How to you is that?
He owns the Clippers. Yeah, it's weird.
Right. To you is that weird, or is that just like, yeah, that's kind of what you expect?
I can't. Honestly, growing up, let me give an analogy from one of the Chris Rock stand-ups when he said, who are the most racist people on the planet? And he says that it's old black people. And, my great-grandparents, that generation isn't far removed from slavery and racism and stuff like that. And coming up, the older people that I knew that were black, it was a constant reminder that this is out there and to keep your eyes open to it. I think my generation is a little, I mean, I've had people say ignorant comments to me growing up, but I mean, I never perceived it as straight racist hate.
Yeah.
I just thought of it as ignorance and, you know, stupid name calling during like a spat or something. Somebody just try to take a low blow and say something that comes off derogatory. But my generation hasn't really experienced it to the older people, but they do constantly remind us that it's out there. So I can't say I'm 100% shocked by this at all. But on the same token, I'm, you know what actually, what I think the morals have kind of just gone down as a whole. I think the most insulting thing out of the whole situation was the fact that he was married and he's taken this woman to the games on national television, and not one person said anything. Like, I didn't even know he had a mistress or a girlfriend until the whole racist comments came out. Then they put all of his business out in the street, but not one person came forward and said, "Yeah, I'm kind of uncomfortable with you being married and doing this and that. That's kind of morally wrong. You're supposed to be the head of the company." He was just doing whatever he wanted to do.
You know, as Cobb
pointed,
as Cobb pointed out to me, you know, the past couple weeks, well, the past week really, because it's really only been gone a week. You know, the line between Donald Sterling and Jerry Buss is not very thick. You know, I mean, it's super thin. I mean, what was it? 2008. Dr. Buss was pulled over in Vista, DUI, with a 23-year-old girl in his car, and you know, it's like we kind of accepted about him. He was like this old playboy and everything else. But I mean,
the Hustler Casino,
right?
Blackjack and poker,
which is fine.
A girl on each arm.
Well, the girl on each, that's a little interesting. But you know, he's absolutely revered, and you know, behavior-wise, not too far off. Of course, you know, he kept his mouth shut and didn't say stupid things. I think that's probably a lot of the.
Well, his team was a winner, and the Clippers are a loser. But
perpetual losers.
If you swap roles, you could almost have Donald Sterling be that Jerry Buss character.
Yeah,
and Jerry Buss could almost be the Donald Sterling character.
I mean, they were both involved in real estate that really wasn't. You know, of course, Jerry Buss sort of transitioned away from real estate, bought the sports team and whatever, and you know, wasn't that successful with it. Whereas Sterling was extremely successful with real estate because he was ruthless and a jerk. You know, and
I think one thing that stands out though is the fact that when you compare the two, I mean, Sterling is just very, very arrogant, and there's just no lines of respect. Like when it comes to cheating, he brings the girls straight to the basketball game for the cameras can see, whereas other people that cheat don't do that. Even Tiger Woods, no one knew until the girls came forward. You didn't know about it. They at least had to. Even though what they're doing is scandalous and they're doing it behind closed doors, but there was still a respect level to where I'm not going to just do this in front of my wife like I'm just like a pimp and I don't care and there ain't nothing she can do about it.
Yeah, that's
when he makes his comments, he doesn't care. Buss would never say those comments. Even if he felt like that, he would never say those out loud. It's just the respect level. He's just not going to cross those lines. Sterling doesn't care. He's just he feels like he's just kind of like almost a god mentality. Like,
yeah, it's been going on for.
Nothing you can do about it.
I mean, the girls thing has been going on, you know, like publicly and out in front of everything for a good 20 years. I mean, there was a lawsuit he was involved in, where what he described. This was from the early thousands, where what he described was really 65-year-old guy. You're talking about that? Okay, you know.
Well, he has court depositions where he talks about where he admitted to paying for sex. And it's like, it's sex for money, money for sex, money for sex, sex for money. That's a quote from a court deposition.
Right, and that's early 2000s, and you know, there's others.
And he's a married man, and he's talking about being with call girls.
Others about particular activities.
Well, back to his wife. You know, his wife wasn't even upset about his girlfriend being, you know, in the first row on the court at Clipper games, or being his husband's girlfriend or mistress or assistant or whatever she was. She was upset about the money. She's like, that's community property, and you owe the Sterling family $1.8 million.
Yeah.
It wasn't about like, hey, stop seeing my husband. This is, you know, it wasn't like, you know, we're a union. you know, he is a married man, I'm a married woman, you need to get away from my husband. It was about the money. And we know one of Sterling's first hires as owner of the Clippers, was it 1981, 1982? He hired a former model to be
the GM,
assistant
basically.
general manager.
Right.
There is no assistant general manager. The general manager does all the general manager duties. But
Well,
he
she was the
hired
first one.
yeah.
Yeah, she was a landmark.
She cleared out some coach's office and set it up as her own.
Yeah.
And he put her on the payroll.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's. I think, okay. So to sum everything up, I think what I gotta say is today this is just as disgusting to me as it was a week ago. It's even more on further thought. It needs to be dealt with. I mean, you cannot let momentum just take this where it's going to go, because where momentum will take this is, while in name he's not running the Clippers, he still owns the Clippers, and you know, basically all the value that increases in the asset he has half of, and any value that decreases, I guess he loses half of, and they're still working for him. I mean, there's no avoiding that. You know, it's the big $800 million gorilla in the room. He still owns the team. You can say oh, you can't operate it, you can't come to games, whatever else. The guy still owns the team, and it's going to take. You're going to have to stand up to him on many, many fronts if you're going to force him to sell the team. If it's just if it's just him suing the NBA over you can't make me sell the team, it ties it up in court for 3-4 years, probably until he's dead. You know, ties it up with lawyers, and nobody does anything, and everybody continues, and you work for him, and players sign with his team, and whatever else, and then we kind of all put on our little mental, little dividing line that says, well, you know, we support the team, we support the players, we don't support Don Sterling, you know, and then we just walk off with that. And I say that's BS. You cannot do that. You've got to take a stand against this guy. I mean, what he stands for and what he said and how he's acted is so despicable that, you know, if you're Chris Paul and you can afford, you know, say taking a, I don't know, $17 million hit or whatever it is that he's due next season, you know, go play in Italy or something like that because it's the right stand to take. You have to do that. And, you know, I don't see that happening. So that's where I want to leave this. And I think you guys both agree with me, because if you don't, then I'm going to kick you off the show.
Oh, okay.
Well, I agree. I don't want to get kicked off.
I don't want to get kicked off the show, but I'm just... No one's going to do anything until the sponsors come back and see if the sponsors come back.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
A very good point. Okay, we're going to move on to Cobb's take, and we're going to involve... Oh, where'd he go? No ID, Justin. Get back here, buddy. Okay, we're going to move on to Cobb's take.
We need to hit my take. Oh. Cobb's take.
Cobb's take.
Yeah, we need to hit my take, and then we need to hit Sil Jones, because we have him here. Since he's here, we're gonna use him.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Cobb's take. The NBA layoffs are heating up. Who's gonna join Mike D'Antoni on the NBA scrap heap? Hopefully, Donald and Shelley Sterling will be there, as we just discussed in Brad's take. Mark Jackson, with his first-round loss, might make it, or he might not. Despite leading the Warriors to the postseason in his 3 years as coach, Golden State appears to be looking in another direction. All this nonsense about secret tapes, whose team is it, did Coach Jackson lose control of his team, is ridiculous. Bottom line, Golden State basketball is unfamiliar with any sort of NBA success. They're going to leave Mark on an island there in Oakland on a pile of magic deuces, and that stinks. Mike D'Antoni saw the writing on the wall and left Dodge before a healthy Kobe could come back. Smart move. D'Antoni is a good, not a great, good coach who would make a fine assistant sitting on the bench of an actual great coach somewhere else in the NBA. If his ego would let him. Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak should do Laker fans a favor, do them a solid, and leave as D'Antoni did. That's LA's problem right there. Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak. That and an unrelenting Kobe Bryant. NBA layoffs fun fact, Brad. David Stern was 2014's first piece of garbage to hit the NBA scrap heap. of Magic Deuces. Silver tossed that big baby out with the bathwater. That might be your second greatest accomplishment in your young tenure, Mr. Commissioner Silver. Bravo.
NBA layoffs, they're fantastic. Cobb hit me with this morning, and when he launched into it, he said, the NBA layoffs are heating up, and I just couldn't stop laughing because it was just, well, number one, so on point, and number two, just a perfect play on words of, what's going on. And so I was very proud of him. He's
Thank you.
He's learned a lot from me in this year. By the way,
What?
by the way, the actual anniversary of our first show is May 10th. So that's we'll celebrate that next week, and actually May 10th we'll both be in Bakersfield. And for those people who thought I had 2 tickets to spare for Bakersfield, I don't. D the Seahorse will be joining us. We'll be using his tickets. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to buy your own. Fortunately, you're not gonna have to sit too far back.
I think No ID Justin. Did we get him back on the phone?
He didn't call back.
Oh, he didn't call back. He was talking about he was getting tickets. He didn't know if he was going to get 1 ticket or 2 tickets, depending on his sitter situation. And he just got these tickets last week. We got our tickets 3 months ago, Brad? 3 or 4 months ago.
He's in row 5, I'm sure.
He's like 2 rows behind us, and he waited 4 months to get his tickets. What's that?
I'm not that close.
Oh, he called in. Okay, I got you. I don't see you on the attendee list here. Okay, you called in. What's going on, man?
Not a lot, man. Hoping to get to that show, dude. It looks like we'll be able to go, though. I'm going to bring the wife with me. I don't know if we'll make it by 5 o'clock, but we'll be down there.
All right. Team Orr at the Jay Moore Show. That'll be freaking tight.
That is great. That is
Speaking of Jay Moore shows, let's go to Sil Jones. Sil Jones caught Jay Moore at his San Diego show. What was the name of the club, Sil? Tell us what happened.
Wait. Was that your take? We're done with your take, right?
Yeah, my take's done.
All right, let me put a stinger in here. Just a minute. Special guest, Sil Jones. What up, Sil?
What up?
So tell us about this meetup, man. Tell us what happened. Paint the picture.
Man, it was at the American Comedy Club, San Diego, downtown Gaslamp area. From beginning to end, it was nonstop action. I get in line, don't even realize that the person standing in line in front of me is miserable Padre fan, a Twitter Hat Trick Club winner. We're sitting there talking, not even knowing who each other are. A transient walks up with a sign saying he'll work for marijuana, and somebody behind us rolls up a joint and gives it to him. They're smoking pot right in the middle of the line.
Okay, stop a minute. Stop a minute. You're in line with miserable Padres fan, and did you say, hey, do you know about Jay Moore Sports Show? Do you know about the Twitter Hat Trick Club? Yeah, I've won that. Yeah. Is that how that conversation went? Because that is how that conversation goes every time I'm in line.
My wife was with me, but it didn't really come up like that. And then after the show, he actually tweeted me like, I didn't know that was you until Jay said your name. So
wait, Jay said your name?
Oh, yeah. I'll get to that part. Yeah, Jay totally gave me a shout-out in the middle of the show.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So, yeah, at the American Comedy Club, you don't get tickets. It's first come, first serve in terms of seating.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was scared to sit in the front. So I literally got the very first seat right in front of the stage.
Yeah, Dean Del Rey picks on people. He's unlike JJ.
Oh, Dean Del Rey picked on me a whole lot.
Yeah, did he? And then he probably got right in front of you and he started singing, I ain't going match with you, Sil Jones. Right? Is that how that ended?
They didn't know it was me, him and Daryl, until Jay Moore came out. When Jay came out, I wasn't wearing my Twitter Hat Trick Club shirt, but I had it in my possession. And I opened it up, and the first thing he said was, "Oh, Sil!" He came over and gave me a little fist pump.
Awesome.
Yeah, halfway through the show, he kind of stopped, and he goes, "Hey, for everyone, this is Sil in the crowd. This is one of my Twitter Hat Trick Club members." And I got a little standing ovation.
No way.
I thought that was my special moment. I felt all happy.
Wow.
And then my wife went to the bathroom. She comes back. Jay stops the show again and says, "Oh, she's the most beautiful woman in here." The
Wow.
whole crowd stopping was staring at her, so it made her day.
Oh,
So I mean, from beginning to end, I mean, it was just funny, hilarious. Had a great time. At the end of the show, Jay came up, gave me a hug, invited. He was real tired. He didn't want to do meet and greet, but he invited me into the back, me and my wife, and we took photos. We chatted for like 45 minutes, and
magic,
Jeez.
huh?
I mean, he signed my shirt. They all signed my Twitter Hat Trick Club shirt.
Wow.
It was a great moment.
A one-man meet and greet. Jeez.
I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
A one-man meet and greet. Well, the two of you.
Well, no, it was one man, one woman actually, Cobb. So
Yeah, one man, one woman meet and greet. A one-on-one meet and greet. Did you
I felt special. I know the crowd was kind of bitter when they saw I got a hug, and then they ran off.
Oh wow.
But I was like, hey, I said, this is my magic moment. I've been getting picked on Twitter all day, like Jay reading my bad tweets. This is my moment.
That's
Yeah, but
true.
you know
You've
what,
had a bad week.
I got to tell you, so when he calls you out for just being awful, that's like a sign that, like, he did that with Etch It Man. Like, Etch It Man used to be the guy, you know? And, you know, there were a couple of times when I got called out for, you know, sending completely inappropriate things, bury cats and whatever else. And, you know, I mean, yeah, that's cool. That's so cool. Oh, wow. You know, I'm curious. Did he do? What's the new Cobb? I'm having a mind
Eastwood
blanking moment.
Clint
Yes.
Eastwood.
You know what I'm talking about. Did he do Clint Eastwood last night?
No Clint Eastwood.
Oh.
No Clint Eastwood at all.
That is
Yeah,
that is like his best bit in a long time. Absolutely,
That's one of his newer ones. Yeah.
That's a newer one, and that is amazing. But of course he did Walken, right? How come your dog
Actually,
doesn't
you
have
know
a
what?
tail?
No, there was no Christopher Walken.
No Christopher Walken,
No-
and so he got
and
through a
no-
show
and no
without doing
Droopy
Walken.
Dog.
That's great. I hope you get a high five for that. That's great.
There was no Droopy Dog. There was a lot. There we had some Big Mama Got It All.
Was anybody yelling out
some Tracy
Ramos?
Morgan.
Nobody yelling out Ramos.
No Ramos.
No
There
hecklers.
was a lot of his voice was kind of going out, and he kind
Yeah.
of stumbled over a few words. So there was a lot of "you make me
Maybe
feel
great.
great," you know,
Yeah.
people. So the crowd was heckling him with it, but no, he kind of freelanced for a lot of it. He kind of
Yeah.
there's a few where he kind of went off and told some stories that weren't really part of his bit. So
So I'm
and
guessing
then
you
he
hit the
just
Late
kinda
Show,
made it
right?
funny in his own way.
You hit the Late Show, right?
Yes, the last show, 9:30 Saturday night.
Oh, very cool.
Brad, you got to
Very
see
cool.
these
Wow.
pictures Sil sent me, man. They're like.
And you sent them. Where did you send these to, Cobb? You told me to send them to
because
my.
Sil DM'd me some of his pics before the podcast started, and then I texted him to
Is there
your
any
phone.
chance you can? Is there any chance that you can get those up on your screen and screen share them, if possible? Because if you
Oh yeah,
text them,
I'll hashtag them.
I could do that.
if Cobb could do that, I was just saying so we could screen share them here. The thing is, when you send pictures to my cell phone with that Google Voice, they don't come through because their MMS is just kind of screwed up. But I'd love to see them. I'll lock you in, and then maybe you could figure out a way to screen share them. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just sec. So you had a great time. That's
Here,
what
here we go,
counts.
Brad.
Okay.
This picture I'm gonna show you is amazing. It's the first one he sent me. And
How much
screen share.
how much did Daryl Wright do last night?
He
Right
opened. Yeah, he came on as the host. His was a shorter bit than Del Rey and Jay's, but
Boy, speaking
he
of
was
shorter
there
bit,
for
he's
about a good 15 minutes.
speaking of shorter bit. He's not a tall man, is he?
No, he's not. I was quite surprised.
You're what, about 6'1", 6'2"?
6'4".
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I think
you're a big
Daryl's
guy.
not as short as we think. I think Sil's taller than we think.
Very tall guy.
He's very tall.
Wow, he's a big guy, man. That's
Do you see
great.
this picture, Brad? My favorite part is look who's looking over
I know there's
Sil's
Dean Del Rey.
shoulder.
That's great. Dean you got photobombed by Dean Del Rey. That's
That is
amazing.
awesome. That is my favorite picture.
Oh, that's great. Did you ask Daryl right where his roommate's cage was?
I didn't. I was feeling so.
Uh-oh, who'd we lose? Oh, no, my phone.
Your phone? You lost your phone?
Oh, shoot. This thing just reset. Just a minute here.
Did we lose Sil? Did we lose Justin?
Oh, boy. We didn't really lose him. Just a second here. I just got to start this up, and he'll be back in. Sil can't hear me right now. Come on, man. What happened here? Crud. Okay, we'll edit this out. I gotta pull the battery in this thing. Just a second, man. Oh, man, never had that happen before. That is scary.
I'm gonna load up another picture here, Brad.
Yeah, that sounds good. Cool. Sil, if you're listening on the YouTube thing, give us a second here, and we'll be back. I promise.
I got another picture here of JJ, Sil, and Sil's bride. Looks like and then some sort of deep sea fish in the background or something. I don't know if that's JJ's hat or what, but it's
what I could probably get on GoToMeeting on this phone. I bet. Let's see here. I will do that. Just a second, man.
Just a second,
Host.
man.
See, I still should have this. Here we go. In session. Join. And I'm going to need to turn up some... Hey, Sil. Mr. Sil, can you hear us?
There are two other callers on the call.
Unmuting.
Molested and stuff, and it's
Sil.
Yes, I'm here. I'm still here.
Back up. I had a phone go out and I lost you. Can you back up to Daryl Wright and my roommate's cage?
Oh, yeah, I didn't get the chance to do it. I mean, I was kind of shell shocked when I went in the back because it was my first time meeting Jay and the guys. So, I didn't think of the right questions to ask. I was just kind of like,
oh, so you
silent
are
and
very
shell shocked.
You are a very tall man. See, every time I meet up with
Yes.
every time I meet up with JJ, I straighten my posture and just kind of like try to get that last quarter inch out of the soles of my shoes, you know, just kind of pick the heels up a little so they'll pick up, you know, just to try to, because he and I are like exactly the same height, so you know how that works. And or maybe you don't. Maybe I'm just. Maybe it's just me.
He does.
I think I'm just that way. It's probably just me who does that. But you're a tall guy. Wow.
Yeah, I get it all the time. I always got to lean over. I have to do like a special lean when I hug people. My shoulder goes like right into their neck and their face.
Do you bend at the waist or you bend the knees when you go in for a hug?
Lean. It's almost like a gangster lean, just so I can give hugs.
Oh, just a gangster lean hug.
Or I got to squat, but that kind of looks awkward.
So you pop in a squat to give someone a hug.
Too much, man.
I got two more. I got two more, Brad.
All right, cool.
But yeah.
Wow, this thing's really unfortunate.
You still there?
Yeah, we're still here. Cobb's getting Cobb's getting another picture, and I'm messing with my second phone, seeing if I can.
There's a couple I still got to send. I got one where Jay's like sticking his tongue out, so I was like almost licking my face. I didn't notice it when the picture was taken.
And here's the second picture with Sil and Dean Del Rey, where no one's photobombing this one.
No, no, Dean Del Rey photobombed that. Man, that guy works hard. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter at all, Sil, but I'll tell you what, Dean is.
I just added him today.
I seriously.
Actually, I thought I already had him added, but I added him today. I was just talking to him earlier because he posted a photo, and I made a comment to him like, "Hey, because Saturday Night Live was on in the green room, so I was just like, hey, you must have taken that photo last night."
Old Man Beaston tweet us that we need a Safari Sly versus Dan Beyer on Fox cage wrestling match. I think that's what I saw there, which should be pretty. With Daryl Wright announcing it. That's my roommate's cage.
I don't want to be a stump. I don't want to be a stump, man. I love my legs. They're long. That would drop me down to like 4'2".
Wow.
I think Dan would be pretty worried. I don't think you have anything to worry about. So
that's another great picture. Wow, what a night, dude! What?
You see this T-shirt there?
It was a 10-star night.
Yeah, I would say. Wow, good for you. Good
That's
for you.
rad.
We're gonna be lucky. We're gonna deal with Grumpy Jay, who's driven 2 hours and has a 2-hour drive home and gets to see like 50 of us, and has to. The cool thing is if I think he's planning on recording the, like a whatchamacallit, a comedy special thing there.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is if they pan the audience, he's gonna have to digitally like copy and paste us in each about 5 times. So if you just kind of go like this during the show, you'll see like 5 people, waving, right? All
It's
with
like
you.
5 Brads
really
and
cool.
5 Cobbs.
5 Brads and 5. That's scary, man. That's very scary.
Well, we're not going to be the only 2
section.
there.
What's up, Justin?
I said they should just copy our section and just photo paste it over the rest of the empty seats.
What a bummer, man. I feel horrible because like a lot of us are making a trip, and Bakersfield can't even come out. It's
Yeah.
it's
Well,
terrible.
it'll be fun. It's going to be...
He's doing Melrose Improv again on the 27th or something. We're probably going to go to that one, too. It's like a Tuesday night, so...
Oh, very
Right
cool.
on.
Must do that. Mr. Cobb, we got a little bit of business to do here. I haven't got Manuel and Gardena, or as you called him on a text message, Manzel and Gardena.
Manzel and Gardena. Remember, well, he said that on the show on accident. He's like, "Oh, it made me feel great."
That's right. That's funny. I forgot about that. We got a couple things to address, and then you want to get done here?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let me do one for more your draft, and we'll keep on here, Justin, and we'll talk with you during this too. So here we go.
Not a problem.
Let me do that again. More your draft. Okay, Cobb. So we took on a big project, and
Yeah.
it turns out it was just a complete disaster.
Yeah.
Very difficult to herd all the cats on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Very difficult to come up with a kind of an organized draft scheme where
Yeah.
everybody has fun, and doesn't exclude anyone. And
Yeah.
and I don't feel bad about it. I just think we tried to do too much. But
Yeah.
I thought what might be cool would be to review what we did last year, because last year was pretty amazing, and it all started with an after-hours tweet that I made, and I just said, in the Moria draft, I'm going to draft Etch It Man, and from there, a whole bunch of people joined in. And these are like the kind of the early. I don't want to call us legends. I mean, even though that's really what we are. Okay, I don't want to call us that, but there was.
Yeah, I and
that's
we
not
all
right.
are our legends.
But that is kind of what we are, and the way the round played out, this was kind of interesting. It just kind of happened after hours, and then it kind of streamed into the. It was cool because it streamed into the show as well. Mike in Vegas picked Brain. Brain was kind of a big thing back then. Alan Mann, a.k.a. Johnny Ringo, picked Jay Gray. Great Blue Dini picked Drew Ranakovich. M-Rob followed up by picking Favors. Jay Gray picked Bob Marley Comedy. Remember when Bob Marley Comedy used to come? Bob Marley
he used to come in every Thursday or every Friday,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. When he was
Where'd
the
he
favorite
go?
guy. Drew Ranakovich then took Funny How. Carla Lou, who doesn't play on Twitter anymore, but she does join us in the forums occasionally, took Daryl Wright.
That's a good pick.
D the Seahorse took the Rodeo Song. Remember the Rodeo Song?
Wait, the rodeo song?
The Rodeo
There's a
song? Yeah, I don't
No.
think you can. I don't think you can hear this. No, you
I don't
can't
remember
hear
the
this.
rodeo
What a bummer.
song.
Well, it's 40 below, and I don't got a heater in my truck, and I'm off to the rodeo. No, you don't remember that?
From the show? I never heard it on the show.
No, it was never on the show. It was just like this thing, dude. But he took the rodeo
Oh.
song because he was like all involved with these equipment rodeos, and we used to joke
Office
about that. So he
rodeos.
took the rodeo song, right? Hato's daddy chose Hato's mommy for obvious reasons. Jay in San Antonio chose Diamond Dan. I mean, this was like the first.
That's the pick of the first. That's the best pick of the first round.
That was the best pick of the first round because on the show the next day, Diamond Dan made a hat with he made a jersey with Jay in San Antonio on it and a hat with a little rose on it and wore it and made a video of it. Unfortunately, the video no longer exists. It got taken down from YouTube. But that was pretty hilarious because he talked about it on the show, made a little video that was nice.
And that got the Warrior draft onto the air.
Right. Daryl Wright came in and chose the hashtag vodka time. About this time, I don't know when this was. JJ literally went on the J Moore Sports bulletin boards, and he asked. We're working down the draft here. I think we had gotten to Jay in San Antonio at this point. Yeah, it was. We had. And he messages on our board here, how am I not drafted on my own show? This is bull-ish. Boycott.
Oh, someone's mad.
Someone is mad. Yeah.
Mad.
So
someone's
he
upset.
was angry, and he was angry on the show, which was great.
How come no one drafted me? He took it
at
to the airs. I remember listening to that.
That's right, because at that point, Favors had drafted Greg Toohey, and so Jay Taylor Gang, Justin Cincy took Jay Moore. So then we had round two. M-Rob took Nikki Cox. I took what I think was really the best pick of the entire draft. I hate to tell you, and that was Vito Violante, and that one paid off well into November. Because anytime I needed anything from Vito, I'd tweet and I'd say, Vito Violante, my pick in the Warrior draft. Dude, could you help me out with something? And he was like right there. So I think that was probably the smartest pick. Mike in Vegas followed by picking Kim Genovese. Drew Arnakovich took Adam Carolla. Alan Mann took Kenny Smith. Why would you take Kenny Smith?
What a waste of
I don't know. I don't get it. Jay Taylor Game took M-Rob. Then Cobb got in the mix here, and he took Seahorse and hashtag Ricky.
Ricky tweets were awesome.
Ricky tweets were the best.
And then French. After the draft was over, I traded.
I know.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever.
We're gonna get to the rest of the draft here because there were other people who drafted stuff. Okay, French Fry Phil then took POB's chair. I traded up and took Barry Katz. And of course, when I took Barry Katz, whose Twitter handle at the time was #BarryKatz, I hashtagged it #BarryKatz. Get it? Referencing a call I'd made the previous week where Jay went like 3 minutes on why I'm bringing down his show with references to his manager, which was just awesome. And then Jay Colombo came in and took Peter North. POB's chair drafted Pat O'Brien. Hato's daddy went and drafted the whole concept of a Caruso. And then the final draft was Jay Moore actually picked the real Hey Matty, and that he intended to. I have a note here is that he intended to part out Matty's organs. I don't know if I did that or he did that, but it's. That concludes the 2013 Warrior Draft. Teams are free to sign undrafted free agents starting at 12 p.m. And then
I guess a huge free agent signing.
Yes, there was, and Jay Gray actually suggested that we track it on whatchamacallit on
the forum.
On the forum, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was not only free agent signings, but there were also trades because I made one with Great Bludini.
Yes, you did.
Because Great Bludini drafted Drew Arnakovich, and he wanted to organize a team Blue Ernaka horse, organized like a franchise, but I had D the Seahorse, so he traded me Kevin in Lima, which was a buddy of his in upstate New York, and the rights.
He's still a buddy of his.
He's still a buddy, yeah.
Yes.
He just doesn't tweet as much.
Right.
Not as much as Bludini. And so he traded me that guy. He traded me Kevin and Sterling Caruso's, which were a huge hit at the time. Not Donald Sterling, but John Sterling.
Yes. JJ also noticed that Daryl Wright got drafted twice. Nice going, guys.
Did he get drafted? I thought he drafted once, and then he got drafted once.
Carla Lou got him the second time.
Okay.
Well, she got him once, and somebody else got him. I guess I didn't notice it. I've edited it. So, no. Daryl Wright drafted himself. That's what happened. This is great. Carla Lou tried to draft Funny How, but then she got. Oh, all right. Time out a minute here. Here's what happened. Drew Arnakovich. Okay, Bludini drafted Drew Arnakovich. Drew Arnakovich then turned around and drafted Great Bludini, but undid his draft pick. I actually specifically remember this and took Funny How instead. Carla Lou thought she was going to have Funny How, but Drew took Funny How, and I awarded Drew Funny How. So she then took Daryl Wright. Well, meanwhile, Daryl Wright had taken himself. He was the first person to draft himself, which was a very, very strong. It was a strong move in the draft. But yeah, JJ had noticed that. Yeah.
Funny that a person that drinks so much vodka would draft himself. We wouldn't think Daryl was that much of a beer guy.
Yeah. So what else did we
Thanks,
have
Brad.
here? Somebody complained they had to have Twitter to participate. Yes, Mike in Vegas because he was a guy whose head is big enough to play 2 offensive line positions at once. Okay, then we had free agent signings. Oh, Favors signed my grandparents. That was cool. Favors also signed Bad John Sterling. I signed my buddy's little brother, Matt Ballacher. He's appeared on our podcast, and he's going to do comedy down here when he moves down here. Gray Bladini signed my dog. How nice. Jay Taylor game got a deal with Earl Clark and with LaSalle. Team Cobb. So you must have... Oh, yeah. And then you signed my other dog.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Graham made his own expansion team. Father Willie, Buzz Williams, Ronda Rousey, Norm MacDonald, and David Lee Roth.
Yeah. Well, what I did, I had missed the first round, and I parlayed my first round pick into 2 second-round picks, and then I just went crazy with trades and free agent signings, and I really had quite a monster there at the end. Because I made deals with Jay Taylor Gang, I made deals with Great Bludini, made M-Rob was already on not Bludini, but Jay Taylor Gang's team, and because of that trade, it wasn't a trade, it was like we merged teams, I had Jay Moore. At the end, Team Cobb owned the rights to Jay Moore after the Moore Year draft was over, which was a pretty big deal, especially since I hadn't yet become a Twitter Hat Trick member yet. Yet.
Yeah, that was many months away. Anyway, you know what the whole point of this is that it was a lot of fun last year when we did it. But the only reason it worked is because it was so spontaneous.
We'll never be able to do that again.
No, it was so
organic.
So it's something to enjoy, and I think on our first day of the NFL draft this year, I'll be sure to post those links to Twitter so you guys can all sort of see what we did.
The forum links.
Yeah, the forum links. That'd be a good
cool.
time to kind of look at those and kind of enjoy them because it was
nice little history lesson. Yay.
Yes, that was well. Anyway, Cobb.
Yeah.
How about that? What's last here? Calls, tweets, and topics. Well, we talked to Sil and we talked to Justin. And Justin, we're going to see you.
Next
when
week.
are we going to see you? Next week. That's right. Next Saturday. Hopefully, you'll get out there early enough to be able to enjoy dinner with us and stuff. French Fry Phil was.
Yeah.
Phil was going to.
You guys know how long that's going to be running? When's everybody leaving from there to go to the show?
We don't know.
Well, we don't know. Phil and Sir Vegas, I guess, were going to set up some kind of activities for us. I think one of them involved milking a goat. Wasn't that something? We were supposed to milk a goat, and then I think the other thing we were supposed to do is we were supposed to like carry a bag of almonds somewhere. No, almonds is more Orville though, isn't it? No, they call them almonds, dude. I'm telling you, Central Valley people.
I don't know what an
almond
is.
I'm telling you, they call them almonds. I went to this leadership camp with like a whole bunch of people from the Central Valley when I was in high school, and they were all talking about how they bagged up almonds the week before. I'm like, what? Almonds? No, almonds. They're called almonds. Oh, okay, whatever. They're almonds. Fine. When you're between the Grapevine and Shasta, okay, in that little valley section there, except maybe Sacramento area, that's like they actually talk English there. I think they're called almonds.
I don't know. Never heard of it. But we should run into.
When I went in studio, I took in almonds, not almonds.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
You're south of the Grapevine, right? You're like Lancaster.
Yeah, I'm Southern California, like all the way down here. I'm Los Angeles County. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so he's not Mid-Cal.
Right, Mid-Cal. Central Valley.
Central Valley, shoot it.
All right. I think it's time for thank yous. What do you think, Cobb?
Sure, let's shoot it.
All right, let's. What happened here?
You lost all your stingers?
Resume all. Aha.
Yeah.
Thanks to Manuel and Gardena for his weekly wrap-up, which we will record later and put in the podcast. Thanks to Syl Jones for coming on with us. Thanks to No ID Justin for coming on with us. We'll see No ID Justin next week. Thanks to the tweeters for participating live this afternoon. I got a couple of them in there. Thanks to listeners, whether you listen live or on the podcast, for giving us an hour of your time. And thanks to J. Cobb, as always, for doing the video cast with me.
Thank you, Brad. Please let us know what you thought of today's show on Twitter. Hashtag TheTMV. The edited podcast will be up on Monday evening for you to enjoy during the week. We'll see you next Sunday afternoon at our regular or non-regular scheduled time for another fun hour and possibly a half of the TMV.
By the way, that'll definitely be the non-regular time because Mother's Day and Cobb got the edict today. You're not doing anything at 1 o'clock, buddy. We have reservations.
Yeah,
so,
I did.
Yeah, it was.
I heard be sleeping at 1 o'clock.
I heard that, man. It was terrible. I know. I'd want to be sleeping too because we're gonna be coming in pretty late that night. But
no kidding.
All right, we'll tell you when it is. Probably later in the afternoon. And that's what's up. See you later, Cobb.
See you then.
It's tea time. It's TMV time. Depending if you're listening or watching, we don't mind. It's tea time. It's TMV time. As long as you're listening or watching, we don't mind. As long as you're listening or watching, we don't mind.